You're up.
Blaine and Mickey, 104.5 The Zone. We're ready for this. We're ready for Monday. That's a beautiful setting. If you caught any of the Buck Rising show, you know that we are hanging out today at the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix Golf Tournament to benefit creative vets. Really cool event at a really cool place. We've been out here before. If you're interested in not just racing, but music and racing and a huge festival, you want to take part in all the sound and fury that is the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix. Tickets are on sale now. You just go to musiccitygp.com, and that's where the magic happens. More than a race, it's a festival.
Oh, no doubt.
You've been there. You know all about it.
Yeah, and this is beautiful, nice little breeze, sun and everything else, man. I'm glad they parked both of my Ferraris out there, and I told them make sure that somebody named Kirby does not even get close to this car because he will just damage it just by walking by.
Oh, his fingerprints are all over that thing. I can promise you he was asking me about it earlier.
Yeah. He was taking a little smoke break and got some ashes close to the car, man. It was blowing.
He's going to get in trouble.
Have you ever been in one, Kirby? I've been in one.
A Ferrari?
Yeah.
Yeah, I sat in one. It wasn't running, unfortunately. It wasn't moving.
Yeah.
But, no, I would never do that, like get ashes on a Ferrari.
Yeah, that torque that's in there is probably some of the torque that we see from Tajay Spears or somebody.
Hey, he's supposedly got a little torque. I've seen him a couple times at rookie
minicamp. You can
minicamp.
get from A to B real quick. But then, you kind of throttle down and you can't go any faster. But you can get from A to B really fast in a 5-10 yard span. You're up to top speed. That's called explosion. And I say that, by the way, and Derrick Henry's on the team who's a better, proven back, but his game is not built on that. That's totally different. Totally different.
It is funny, though. You and I have talked a lot about Derrick Henry, and you said this as the season went on. People said, oh, he's lost a step. He's not getting those 70-yarders anymore. And you brought this up on more than one occasion about Derrick Henry. Just things you were noticing with him that were different, like in his ability to move around tacklers at his feet in the backfield, things like that, which there were always people at his feet in the backfield.
Yeah, I thought he had improved on his game, and that shows he's putting in the work, not just, continue just to be the same player. Is his short area quickness. He's trying to continue to improve that because he was getting tackled in the backfield, so he wanted to be able to be like a shorter back, the 5'11" guy who can, jump cut and do different things. And I started seeing that, and I really was impressed, especially with a guy of his size. So he's really taking his game to the next level. And then he was becoming a receiving threat right before he injured his foot. So, those things make you a complete all-around back, So anybody can say anything negative about Derrick Henry is only that he's not a receiving threat down the field. If there's a difference between running a flare pass and a screen pass and then running routes down the field. And I think there's still some question on him as him being – I think he should be a better blocker. When he's out there on third down. So I would like to see him out there all the time, especially if you're paying a back. With his ability, he's always a threat, even if he's not getting the football, to keep him on the field as much as possible.
Titans fans, we're just starting the show talking about this.
We had no idea where we were going to go with this. But
that's true. But there'd be 3rd and 3, and he'd be off the field. Just the threat of him gives other people opportunity. Just the threat of him.
Yes.
And put the other guy out there.
Yeah, that part would irritate me too. And I'm right there with the fans because, if he's one of your best players on the team, if not the best player, it's not hard math. It's just like playing little leagues. The best player always is on the field and is going to get the ball in some form or fashion. So I really thought maybe that was a sign. If you're watching tape and film, that's a cue to maybe they're running something else. But to me, he should be out there, even if he's just out there pass blocking, just even faking to him for utmost would hold the linebacker so you can get a receiver behind or a tight end behind the linebackers on play action pass. He's always a threat, especially as a home run threat. So, we'll see how this change of offense and Kelly, with everybody being there starting tomorrow, right?
Yep.
With OTAs and or minicamp and see how the offense comes together sooner than later with all the little nuances and changes that's going to happen to the offense. At least that's how it appears, at least how they're talking.
Sure.
Like a little more up-tempo or speed out of their huddles and things of that nature. I don't know about, how fast they're going to be going as far as, not huddling, but I think it's going to be a little quicker pace.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see because Tim Kelly had a front row seat to everything that they did that went right, which wasn't as much as a lot of stuff went wrong last year. He got to see all of it, and
with less talent too, with
yeah.
the offensive line issues and injuries all over the place. You're right though. He did get to see the faults of the offense, and it seems like he's tweaked it to his own style, and that'll be interesting to see his style with what Vrabel wants to do, who is the head coach, who's a defensive-minded head coach, but it's always going to have his twist and spin on everything that's done, even on the offense.
Wanted to make sure we called attention to this because it's a guy that I know you knew well.
Oh, yeah.
The late, great Bob Hyde. Bob Hyde passed away this weekend, longtime Oilers and Titans media guy and community relations guy. And I only got to know Bob over the last few years, but just a fantastic guy, would always seek you out and say hello and made everybody feel important. And, I interacted with him some on Facebook over the years because that's you see everybody on Facebook. And I just loved the interactions that I got with him. He had the best
old
stories.
people, right, on Facebook.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
but I didn't want to start the show without paying tribute to that guy.
Oh, no doubt about it. Bob Hyde, I think he embodied everything about what the Titans were, especially when we first moved here. He was a big part of that whole transition, and man, what a great human being. Yeah. I don't think I ever saw him like when you were around somebody so much, and I saw him daily all the time around the facility, I don't think I ever saw him in a upset or disappointed or sad face. He always looked the same. Even if we lost a game, let's just say that after a game, he'd be like, hey, man, everything's going to be all right. He would even come around and shake everybody's hand and just say, hey, just keep your heads up. We'll be good to go. And he was just that kind of person, always positive, and that's always great to be around people like that, man, because, boy, there were some times that we'd lose and I'd be just so down. I could have played my best game of my career, and if we lost, it was just like, oh, it was so painful. And he would always make, hey, you know what, we're going to get him the next time, though. He was always just that kind of guy. So it's a tough loss for Titans Nation and the organization. He was a vital, vital piece in that transition, let alone representing the Tennessee Titans in a high, fashionable way. Mm-hmm.
And people know the players, and they know the coaches, and there are sometimes other – the general manager, that guy. But there are people like Bob who are behind the scenes that the fans don't always get to know.
Right.
And you get to know because you're a player, and then I get to know him because I'm in the media. Now you're media too. So you got the double dip. He was your friend from playing and your friend from the media, but he was a special guy. So
yes, he was.
Thoughts, prayers, his family, to everybody who cared about Bob because he was the best.
Oh, no question, man. Dang, that was painful when I saw that this weekend. I was really like, caught aback and really stunned. I had to take a couple prayers and deep breaths and like, wow, man, you got to cherish the moment, man. You never know when it's going to be your time. Never think about that. Man, sheesh.
Well, and you just hope, gosh, was I a guy like Bob? What'll people say about me? Because everybody's paying tributes to that guy,
Well, whatever I'm thinking about somebody that's of that caliber, high level, I was like, I think I'm going to come up a little short on that one.
Same for all of us.
I think I'll be a little short on that, but I'm sure there will be positive things to say about us all at some point in time.
Well, again, thoughts and prayers and putting our arms around his family and everybody who loved Bob, because people here certainly did too. And, again, Blaine got to work with him for years, and big part of the transition, like you said, from Houston to Nashville, and just a guy who behind the scenes got a ton of amazing stuff done. Wes Rucker is set to join us next from Go Vols 247. Obviously, a nice weekend for Tennessee athletics, for baseball, softball still slugging away. If you heard Lucas's update, they'll play tonight. The year of the Vol continues, but let's go behind the scenes of some of that stuff with our buddy Wes Rucker. We will do that next. Blaine and Mickey, we are live from Old Hickory Country Club. Just an amazingly cool spot. The weather is beautiful. Music City Grand Prix Golf Tournament here today, and we'll be here until 3 o'clock hanging out and telling you about what these guys are doing. And we'll talk about what the Vols are doing next.
him. If
100% he
if
could
we got
moonwalk.
that on video,
Yep.
that would go viral.
I'll tell you,
Go viral.
a lot of people don't know this, but the 3-time Knoxville
man.
Moonwalk champion is on with us now. That's Wes Rucker from Go Vols 247.
That would be great.
He joins us now via the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline at Wes Rucker 247. Wes, tell us about all those moonwalking trophies you've won over the years, man.
Well, I can tell you that I think Billie Jean's one of like 2 songs I can play on the piano because it's just do 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 do. So I can do that.
Nice.
I got that beat. My wife plays a few instruments. Piano's one of them, and I was like, I bet I could play Billie Jean. Turns out I could.
Oh man, I got the bass line down. We're halfway to a band here.
See,
halfway
that's
to
the
an
difference.
MJ tribute.
You guys were trying to figure out how to play it, and I was trying to figure out how to do the actual dance.
Well, I know I can't do that, so I won't even try.
Hey man, I wasn't too great on the feet there either, man. Doing that for sure.
Blaine is from Indiana, home of the Jacksons, so he knows how to moonwalk for sure.
Indianapolis.
There you go.
He's from Gary, Indiana.
That's right.
Ooh, man, that's a tough spot.
Well, Wes is from Knoxville, and he's covering the Vols. And they were not moonwalking through this season early on. They were, 5-10. They lost to Tennessee Tech. If somebody came up to you that day and said, hey, man, let's go to Vegas and make a bet that the Vols make the Super Regional and maybe even host it depending on what happens, would you have gone to Vegas and made that bet?
You know, I wouldn't have put a penny on that, but I wouldn't have been shocked either. I mean, you know, college baseball is a game of chaos, really. I mean, there's so much parity. There always has been. There's schools that you're not used to being good maybe in other sports, and they're really good in baseball. You know, and we'll see if NIL maybe changes it, but traditionally that 11.7 scholarships is, you know, it makes it kind of bonkers. And you knew going into the season that Tennessee had talent to do anything. It had talent to go out there and win any championship that was in front of it. It was just a matter of, was the thing going to come together? And it didn't quite come together at first, but I think because of the expectations going into the season, a lot of people kind of, I don't want to say check out, maybe it's a little bit too firm a word, but a lot of people kind of were disappointed. And even when they started getting better late in the season, people were disappointed. And I've tried to keep saying, guys, the talent's there. If they just get in this tournament, they might go on a run. Like, they have the ability to do that. So, I mean, I wouldn't have necessarily predicted it, but I definitely would have said it was possible.
So what flipped the switch? I know it was a series at Vandy that turned things around after getting swept at Arkansas, but what was the thing that was there a big meeting, or did Vitello shave one of his sideburns, or did Blaine come up there and just fire him up like he used to do the Titans? Like, what got this thing turned around?
You know, I think it was probably a few things. I mean, I don't know if it was just one quick kind of lightning bolt kind of situation. I do think when they adjusted the weekend pitching rotation, they shifted Lindsey to Friday from the bullpen, and then they put Dollander from Friday to Saturday, and then they moved Burns to kind of that wipeout role in the bullpen. That really helped. And then I think they just kind of found some balance in the lineup. You know, that most teams around the country would just kill to have a couple more left-handed bats. Tennessee has too many left-handed bats. Tennessee doesn't have enough right-handed bats, which is the first team I think I've ever seen at any level of baseball that you're like, you know, they could use a right-handed bat. But they just kind of, they had to space things out a little bit. They had to get length in the lineup. You know, they moved Cal Stark behind the plate a little bit. That got some things, helped maybe with the pitching staff. It was just kind of over time, you just kind of figure out where things go in their places. And I think guys kind of took a couple punches early in the season. They got humbled a little bit. They learned that all those dudes who left from last year's team, well, you miss them, right? You do. You miss those personalities. Drew Gilbert, you know, Jordan Beck, Evan Russell, those kind of guys. I mean, you can maybe occasionally find talent like that, but it's hard to find talent with that kind of character, that kind of competitive fire. And they're just huge personalities. And they had to replace some of those guys, and it's not an easy process. So they made a couple of tweaks. You know, they took a little bit of humble pie, and now look where they are. They're in a pretty good spot.
Sure are. Wes Rucker always in a good spot. Right now the good spot is with us on Blaine and Mickey.
Well, Wes, were you down there?
Yes, I was.
What was the atmosphere like? What was the atmosphere? Because it seemed like it was kind of that SEC field, but it wasn't at an SEC field. It felt that way anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I've said for years, and I'm certainly not the only one, Clemson is really an SEC town. It's an SEC school, right?
Yep.
Like I get, and this is no offense whatsoever to South Carolina, but I get more of an SEC feel when I'm in Clemson than I do when I'm in Columbia.
Really?
Just in terms of like, yeah, just in terms of like the some of the facilities, kind of the look of the campus, the fan base. Like in South Carolina, they're fine. They're I'm not saying kick them out of the league or nothing. I mean, it's a good program, good, solid department. But Clemson just kind of gives you that feel, and it's kind of like you're being in Auburn or you're in somewhere like that. It's just kind of a good SEC feel, and they have a nice stadium. You know, it's not like one of the grandest you'll ever see, but it's a nice stadium, and it was full to the rafters certainly until Clemson got eliminated. There was a fair amount of Tennessee fans down there, and Saturday night was one of the. I covered the 1-2. Memphis Tennessee basketball game. I've covered some huge football games, but I mean that the tension in that baseball game was just about unlike anything I've seen in terms of the amount of time where every single thing was critical, right? Because that thing flipped on its head in the ninth inning and got real serious real quick, and then spent like 5 more innings just being like a knife edge for a couple hours. It was insane. Like the plays, and it wasn't that either team was playing badly. It wasn't like they were giving things away. Both teams were making plays, getting out of big spots. I mean, just unbelievable defensive plays, huge pitches. It was high-level baseball. It was really entertaining. Neither team made an error in the field. The fans were going wild. I mean, it was a hell of an atmosphere. It really was. It was a special thing to be there and kind of see in person.
Well, we're on with Wes Rucker, senior writer at Go Vols 247. I guess, Wes, kind of put on your Vols fan hat for a brief second. When you were going through all those extra innings, was there in your mind that they were going to find a way to lose, or were you thinking they were going to find a way to win?
I genuinely had zero idea, and what I mean by that is, I had a whole bunch of ideas, like because if you they do those like the win probability stuff that you see on game trackers and things. Like I don't know that I've ever seen a game where like both teams at different points late in the game would have had like a 90% chance to win at different times. You know, I mean, it was like. Tennessee, gets guys on, nobody out. Clemson loads the bases, no outs, bottom 10. Tennessee kind of wiggles out of it. Like you had runners on second and third with 1 out, and Tennessee couldn't score. I mean, the play that Grice made diving to first base to win the race to the bag. I mean, there were just so many just nuts situations in that game, and I honestly felt like in the ninth, you're like, oh, well, Tennessee just took a pretty big punch there. I don't think Clemson can respond to that. And then Clemson responds when it's down to its last out in the ninth. And then, they get Clemson loads the bases with no outs. And you're like, well, they have to score here, don't they? Like, there's no way not to score. And then Burns finds another level, gets a strikeout, the double play. When Tennessee scored in the 14th, I genuinely was like, okay, I think Clemson's done. The lineup's messed up. Their best hitter's been ejected from the game, which was a stupid decision by the umpiring crew. There was all kinds of weird stuff going on. But until that 14th inning, when Tennessee got that hit, until then, I was swinging back and forth.
Well, Wes, man, they were on the road, right? Of course. So what has been the I guess to get over not winning on the road, while all of a sudden now they're road killers?
Yeah, it's weird. I guess they just need to play all of their road games in the state of South Carolina.
There you go.
In the rest of the 49 states, they might not be such a great road team, but by God, you put them in South Carolina, and they're hell on wheels over there. I mean, it's weird because Clemson had won 17 consecutive games,
right?
And like something like 24 of its past 25. I mean, Clemson was on fire. It's got a couple of big leaguers on that team. I mean, it's a really good team, a really kind of raucous environment. There's some crazy stuff going on there, and yet they found a way to do it. I mean, I think putting guys into situations where they can be successful helps. I think they've tweaked the rotation, which has helped, and they've to me, the biggest thing, as much as anything, is that they have made the plays that are there to be made. They're not giving people extra outs, right? They're not. Right. They're obviously not walking people because they rarely do, but they're making plays in the field defensively. They're doing the little things you have to do and that you kind of take for granted, but you notice them when they're not there. Now they're making those plays, right? And if it just turns – if Tennessee will make the plays that are there to be made, it turns into a deal of, one, who's lucky, but two, who's got more dudes. And Tennessee is usually going to win that who's got more dudes battle. Because, I mean, you look at, like, this weekend, for instance, in these regionals, look at these final games. They're having to, 8, 9 guys are pitching for some of these teams. Everybody's worn out. Tennessee, in the very last inning of that regional, put out there a 6'6" right-hander who throws upper 90s, who hadn't thrown a single pitch all weekend long, just to get him some work. That's how much kind of depth they have when they can get rolling. So, yeah, I mean, they're not a perfect team, but nobody in the country is this year. Even Wake, we'll see what they do against some consistently better competition. But, I mean, Tennessee's making the plays that are there to be made, and if they do that, man, they're as good as anybody.
Well, I'll finish that up and close it up with Wes. We're on with Wes Rucker, senior writer for Go Vols 247. Is what's more surprising, them winning on the road or making those plays you just talked about and having no errors?
I would say probably the playing that well defensively, like them going an entire weekend without an error. That's something that I don't know that I ever would have predicted for this season, because for whatever reason this team was kind of in that mode where it would make kind of the Sports Center play, and then the dribbler would go right between the legs, or it would be a tailor-made 6-4-3 double play, and they just can't get it out of their glove, or a throw to first base that's right there just sails, or just weird things that would happen. So it just kind of had those vibes of, man, they're going to have to overcome this stuff because they're not going to stop doing it. But for now, at least, they've stopped doing it. And if they keep playing defense like this, a lot of it's going to take care of itself.
There you have it. Wes Rucker, senior writer at Go Vols 247.
Wes, it's interesting. I was reading all of Tony Vitello's comments, and he was talking about the pitching staff and Frank Anderson. And then he got asked, he essentially said, well, Frank does such a good job every year. I know that means everybody's going to try to hire him away. And then he added, it's really lucky for us. We've kept our whole staff together all this time. I would imagine those overtures will come again this year. Can he keep keeping the staff together like that?
For a while, I think he can. I mean, Tennessee basically has at least 3 guys who kind of maybe should be head coaches right now, and that's Tony Vitello, Frank Anderson, and Josh Elander.
Yeah.
Josh Elander is going to be a head coach at some point. He's had some interest in the past. I think he still wants to be one, but I think he's in a good spot now where he's helped recruit a lot of these guys, and they've got some really dynamite classes coming in the next couple of years, like elite classes. And I think he believes they can win championships with those kids. So he's not interested in leaving for a place unless it's a place where he thinks he can win at the highest level. So he's in a situation now where he can be a little choosy. And Frank Anderson would be a head coach right now if he wanted to be. He just frankly doesn't want to be one. Frank Anderson, he doesn't love the whole media part. He doesn't really love some of the other stuff. What he loves is coaching, developing pitchers. That's what he loves to do. He's been a head coach before. He was okay with it. But right now, the role he's in, where he can sit there and just kind of sit there and I call it his arm farm, and work on these pitchers and develop these dudes and get them drafted, that's what he wants to do at this stage in his life. So I think he has – I'm never going to say zero interest, but I don't know that he has any interest of being a head coach again. Frankly, he says he doesn't all the time. So we'll see. I mean, Elander's going to be a head coach eventually, but, yeah, they're lucky because they have 3 guys who very easily could be head coaches.
You mentioned the winning that this staff has done. If you're a UT fan this year and you like winning, hey, man, everything's winning. I mean, what a year this has been, just top to bottom for the Tennessee athletics department.
No kidding. And it's like, for a while there, I said for years, and I guess I started covering Tennessee, in 2000? I'm like the oldest 40-year-old in history over here. But I've always said that, if they just do their job the way they're capable of doing it, they can win there. They can win at the highest level there. There's no reason, there is no impediment to them being successful there. They just have to stop being stupid. I mean, it's hard to say it like that because it sounds rude or off-putting.
Didn't sound too hard.
But they just did dumb stuff for a while. They didn't make the right hires. They didn't make the right decisions. Once you put the right people in place, at that program, that fan base, those facilities, that town. I mean, Metro Knoxville is almost like 1 million people now. You can call it a city, call it a town, whatever you want to call it. You can recruit. You can get to like 2/3 of the country in a day's drive from Knoxville. I mean, there is zero reason why they shouldn't be pretty competitive across the board. And that doesn't mean they're going to be like they are now, like what the SEC All Sports Kings for 2 years in a row. That's not always going to happen. But you should always be pretty good, and that shouldn't be a problem. And, you know, some people started saying that wasn't possible, and I started to wonder, but I've pretty consistently said they just need to do their jobs. If you put the right people there, you're going to be fine. And they've gotten some of the right people in place now, and look where they are. Things look a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely. Wes Rucker, just telling it like it is here. Go Vols 247. Senior writer, he is at Wes Rucker 247.
Well, Wes, man, some guys had a really tremendous weekend. I'm interested to see who was your MVP for the weekend, and we can go in any direction from Berg to Denton to who's from Ravenwood, by the way, Moore to the pitching. I mean, man, what was the key cog, would you say, if you had to pick one player, and that may be hard to do?
Yeah, I wish I could. If I could go, if I could split it with Christian Moore and Zane Denton, I would. But I asked the people who were putting together the panel for the All-Region team, and they said, no, Wes, you can't do that. Don't be stupid. And so I said, fine. If I got to pick one guy, I'll pick Christian Moore. I mean, he hit 700 with 4 home runs.
Ooh,
you know, Zane Denton's homer was the moment,
Monster.
right?
Yeah.
It was the moment. But you know who started that 2-out rally with a single with no one on in the ninth, down to the last strike? Christian Moore. He even did that. Like, he did everything. He also turned the 4-6-3 double play when the game would have ended against Clemson, but he and Ahuna were able to get that term when it looked like off the bat they had zero chance to make that play. But they made that play. And so I think Moore, I mean, just the way that, I mean, he's hitting missiles right now. That kid, you can just – next year, just Sharpie him into the first round. Like, he is an absolute dude. But so Zane Denton's moment, you could kind of make a statue out of that. It was a kind of a statue moment. But wow. Christian Moore was the best player, I think, in that regional. He was absolutely sensational. And it was cool that his dad got to come down from Brooklyn to watch. His dad doesn't get to able to come down a lot, but he was able to go down for that regional and got to see it. So that was kind of a cool moment.
Yeah, that was kind of a cool moment. He got a lot of TV time. I was watching, man, right when he hit that home run, and they went right to his dad. I'm like, man, they knew where his dad was sitting the whole entire time. That was insane, man. That was a great memory. He'll never forget. I hope somebody got it recorded. You can probably go look it up. But where did we go from here?
Dude, right now, he'll still tell you. He'll tell you right now to your face. He's like, yeah, I'm better than Christian. I was better than Christian ever was. Like, he'll still say it. I mean, it's just kind of how they are, right? I mean, they kind of like to get at each other a little bit, but he's always like, yeah, my boy's good, but I was better. And but it was a cool moment for him to be down there and see that. And really, I mean, Moore, it just, he gets a little bit down on himself sometimes because he's so competitive. He can get a little bit in his own head when things aren't going right. But some of those swings this weekend, I mean, my goodness, he's just playing. He's basically playing ping pong with the batter's eye. It's nuts.
700, man. That's crazy. Insane batting there for the whole entire university and the baseball program. And did a heck of a job. So where do we go from here with the selection committee? I don't know how any of that works here to get to the super regional. Will UT get to host a super regional? What do you think? What's going to happen here?
Well, if Penn beats Southern Miss today, that's pretty locked in stone that it would be in Knoxville. If not, then it gets down to what I've been told is a really, really difficult decision between Knoxville and Hattiesburg, because both Tennessee and Southern Miss were teams that maybe could have hosted regionals, weren't that far away from doing it in the first place. Okay. And Southern Miss was really peeved that it didn't get one. But Tennessee's got the higher RPI. Tennessee's got the better strength of schedule. Tennessee had a better performance over the weekend. Knoxville usually trumps Hattiesburg when decisions like this come up. So I think a lot of people who cover baseball nationally are convinced that they believe Hattiesburg would have a better chance of getting it. I don't understand that, but they might know it better than I do. I just think on paper, Tennessee's resume is better, and Knoxville is a town that you'd probably rather have the super regional in than Hattiesburg, even though they got a good park down there, really good fan base. They're in the top 10 nationally in attendance consistently. Like, it's a great program, and it wouldn't be wrong if they got it. But, I think if you're being neutral here, you'd have to kind of say Tennessee's probably got the better resume and hosting ability, more hotels, things of that nature. So
there's no other
I
events
don't
going
know
on.
what they're going to do. But it's apparently what I've been told. It's a very difficult decision, and we'll see who can do a little bit more massaging or fighting behind the scenes to get it.
Gotcha.
Wes, great stuff. People need to follow you on Twitter at Wes Rucker 247 or hit up GoVols 247 24/7 for all the latest on everything Tennessee. Thanks, man. Thanks for the time.
Appreciate it, Wes.
No problem, guys. No problem. Have a good day.
Yes, sir. Always great catching up with Wes.
Wes.
When we come back, we're going to catch up with, I believe, the guy who is Kirby, the CEO of this whole thing, Matt Crew of the Music City Grand Prix and founder, Kirby says. We'll find out some more about this big race and festival that's all coming up in August through the streets of Nashville. We'll do that next. Blade and Mickey.
Y'all are good.
All right. A lot going on in my ears here. I had Kirby gesturing me. I thought he was trying to land a plane for a second. He was just trying to land our show.
He just said 4. It was a ball coming.
Yes. Yeah, we do have our back to this beautiful golf course out at the Old Hickory Country Club. Let's talk to the guy who's the reason that all this is happening right now, Matt Crew, CEO and founder of the Music City Grand Prix. First of all, did you plan the weather for today? Fantastic weather for this great event, helping a great cause.
It's absolutely gorgeous, and we got this weather scheduled for August 4th to the 6th this year as well.
100%.
So we're able to we do a twofer, so we've got it in August. So welcome everybody out for that.
All right, so were you just driving like really fast over the bridge downtown, and you thought, you know what would be better than me driving?
Well, that was his Ferrari out there.
Yes, you're just driving your Ferrari really fast through the streets of Nashville, and you thought, let's get Joseph Newgard and all those guys out here.
I hate to disappoint you. I'm the least car guy you'll ever meet.
I'm super disappointed.
It just kills people. I love Nashville. I worked in NASCAR, a good portion of my career. Traveled, saw a bunch of cities attempt to do what Nashville can do, and I just kept going back to we can do it better. I mean, we just do it better here. Mm-hmm. We do the biggest fireworks in America here. We do the second biggest 4th of July. I mean, just go through the list of what we do, and it's like we're crazy if we don't try to do this. And it was a 7-year process to get here, 4 mayors.
Wow.
Now
that delayed some things.
Well, we went through a stretch where 4 mayors was only about 6 months. So anyway.
Well, okay.
But again, I just went back to. I mean, Nashville's just the best event city in the world, and I go back to the final pitch. Took a big group, Butch Spiridon, the head of the Convention Visitors Corporation, to Indianapolis. We're sitting with Roger.
Just retired.
Yeah.
99 problems, but a Butch ain't one.
Butch ain't one. We're sitting with Roger Penske, an American business icon, motorsports icon. He goes through the list of why street races don't work, and Butch just said, sir, well, this is a great, and there's another piece to this too. Butch said, sir, you've never done business in Nashville. And I'm just coming back from Detroit, where Roger did a street race in Detroit yesterday, which he decided to do the day after our Grand Prix 2 years ago. So,
oh my. Man, just you're getting a look behind the curtain here of the Music City Grand Prix. Matt Crew, founder and CEO, our guest here.
Yeah, you never would have thought you were going to have this question, but my question is, I want to make sure I get the skip the line deal. Tell everybody how they can get the skip the line so I can just go right in there. I want to be right there in the front row.
Well, so our event, I go back to what our event is. We're about showing Nashville to the world. We're broadcasting in 180 countries. Year 1, we were the most watched IndyCar race in cable TV history. But people come to Nashville for the full Nashville experience. Yes. Uh-huh. And I think the first 2 years we've got incredible music on property. We got multiple stages, an incredible lineup. But people come to Nashville for the total Nashville experience. So to have a partnership with the downtown bars and honky tonks this year where our fans can, we always refer to the first year, our side of the river, their side of the river. It's our Nashville. So let's make sure our consumer can get to the front of the line. They can see Flow Rider and be at Tootsie's in 5 minutes. And where else can you do that other than Nashville,
I don't
Tennessee?
know, man. You better top the cake there. I mean, so the third year, what have you learned through this process that you continue to grow it, and how impressed have you been with the growth of it at the same time, 3 years?
Well, operationally, you learn a ton because there is no book for building a track in a downtown city and that has some challenges. Nashville's great. I wish that people had a chance to work with Metro Police, Fire, Public Works, Mayor's Office, the state. It's incredible how easy it is to do business here. So move that to the side. But we learn something every day. I mean, we've learned over time, I think, that our fan is probably more of a race fan than I would have thought. Mm-hmm. I would have thought 7 years ago when I started doing this that, we're going to have just experience-seeking millennial travelers and the cars are the background noise to the party. And we have some of that, but our fans are race fans. I mean, they want to sit where the action is. We've got 22 video boards on property where you can see the whole track. There's not a track in the world that has 22 video boards. So we're rare, like for a street race. For example, I came back from Detroit yesterday. It was a beautiful event in downtown Detroit. They probably had 3 or 4 video boards where some of the people can see the whole track. Our fans, for the most part, can see the whole facility. And we've learned that. Our fans are race fans. So.
There you have it. Yeah, I grew up watching the Indy 500, so I get it, man. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, so I'll be there.
Well, we appreciate you and bring 10 of your friends. So.
Oh, yeah.
MusicCityGP.com, is that the best place to go, Matt, for tickets, for info, for anything?
Yeah, tickets, info, and then we'll do several programs throughout the next several months. We have an incredible military outreach. I mean, today, Creed Vets is our partner today. One of the things I'm incredibly proud about our event is we truly honor our veterans, first responders, police, fire, like none other. I mean, we've given tens of thousands of tickets to veterans. We have a partner, actually, that provides complimentary food and beverage all weekend on property for our military veterans. So we're really proud of that. Incredible relationship with the Charlie and Hazel Daniels Foundation at MTSU, which is my alma mater. So those are all things we're incredibly proud of. So obviously we want to make sure we continue to honor our veterans like we're doing here today, but welcome everybody out because, again, as we learn, you know, we have a very fan-friendly event, and we've got to start fostering that next generation of car fans. And it's not just young millennial travelers. Let's start building. You know, let's let a 7-year-old meet a Joseph Newgardner, a Colton Herta, who's now a Nashville resident. They'll be a fan for life.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But you must tell everyone what you played on MTSU's football team. You think we didn't know that, gosh. Right? Yeah.
Well,
tell us your percentages and everything else.
Well, I don't know that.
Oh.
So back when I played, they put the best athletes at kicker.
100%. Yeah.
So again, obviously being the best athlete, I was a kicker for Coach Donnelly at MTSU. I was fortunate enough to be part of the 87 through 90 team with him. Incredible group of guys, you know, couple-time conference champion. Great group. Actually, we're having a reunion this coming weekend where probably 30 or 40 of our fellow teammates from that genre, they put it on every year. And it's just been proud to say it's been proud what the university has grown to. Was fortunate enough to give the commencement speech there a couple of weeks ago, and it was just – which this kid had to be disappointed in that one, but it was a ton of fun just to continue to stay close to the university and allow, again, our event. We have so many connection points with MTSU. The barricade system, which we use, was the brainchild of the concrete science program there. It's now the gold standard in motorsports. You saw it in Detroit yesterday. You'll see the street race in Chicago in a couple weeks with NASCAR using it, Miami F1. So MTSU has been a big part, and then the Military Foundation there with the Charlie and Hazel Daniels Foundation have become a huge partner of our event. And we don't brag about it enough, but we as an event over the first 2 years, between us and our partners, have donated over $2 million to different philanthropic causes in the area.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
So as a Nashvilleian, I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
I'm proud to get to show my city to the world, but I'm proud to use this platform to make it a better place.
Well, appreciate you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Matt Cruz, founder, CEO of the Big Machine Music City Grand Prix. Again, tickets on sale now. It's not just a race. It is a 3-day festival that celebrates all things Nashville. Music City GP.com. Thanks, Matt. Always great
Perfect.
to catch
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes, sir. All right, we come back. Hour number 2. Get you with headlines next, and then you know what time it is. Ding Dong of the Week, as we do every Monday on Blade and Mickey.
10 to.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Go.
You're up.
Blaine and Mickey 104.5 The Zone. Man, it's not even Monday here. You're outside at a golf course doing a radio show. This doesn't even count as a Monday. We're outside at
What are you talking
a golf
about?
course
I'm
doing
on
a radio
vacation.
show. It feels like it.
Yeah, I'm on vacation, man. I'm living a dream. Until I saw Kirby, then I knew I wasn't.
Then you
wasn't
knew it
on
was a
vacation.
nightmare.
Exactly.
Big Machine.
Yeah, it woke me up, man. That's
Music City Grand Prix at Old Hickory Country Club. That's where we are. A benefit golf tournament for creative vets, and they're just out here helping people. Just had Matt Cruz, the founder and CEO, on, and he was talking about all the charity work that they do. This is a big part of it, but also prepping for a big race, August 4th through 6th in downtown Nashville. It's more than just a race. It's a music festival. I know both of you knuckleheads have been hanging out down there.
Yeah.
I've got to bring my son this year. He loves cars, loves music. It's everything, man. It's just a showcase of downtown Nashville with a really fast race right through the middle of town. Fantastic
That
stuff.
is pretty cool. Just to even see them when they're setting it all up, and then to see the finished product, and then to actually go and be part of the event is pretty special. Yep, I love it.
MusicCityGP.com, more than a race. It is, again, a festival. So jump on to MusicCityGP.com to learn more and get some tickets and check it all out. You'll be glad that you did. Probably can't get any tickets to this, but the Titans have this is the mandatory one this week. This is a minicamp. This is not OTA. Minicamp, Blaine. So not voluntary. You're going to get to see everybody in action this week, I would imagine.
Well, I would assume, but I don't like to assume, but I would expect Mr. Byard will be there, and whoever else didn't show. Oh, Fulton, who's supposedly was in the building. I don't know if that's true or not, but hopefully he'll be there because he has not been on the football field. So I think those are only two, right, that I can think of off the bat. I'm sure some guys who haven't been there, Autry and some other vet guys, but I expect to see everybody there. A Mike Vrabel type team, I would be stunned if everyone isn't there and at 100% attendance for this. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. It's going to be a lot of conversations and asking questions of why do you go to OTAs, because it's not mandatory.
Right.
So then what do you say as a reporter today? Well, you came to them last year. Well, yep, last year I did. This year's a new year. New Byard. I did miss another time. It was one of the times back in the day. But, I don't think it's going to be too much commotion, and then we'll be focusing on football and actual players and where's Burks and how are the backup quarterbacks doing and progressing and how they're getting better. How's the offense and whether they look like, and then Fulton on defense playing corner, and is he out there practicing? And if not, what's going on? Yeah. And T.R. by the way, got tendered. I guess he signed his restricted free agent contract. I think it's for $4 billion.
$4.3 million. I guess I could play for that, he said.
Yeah, for the restricted. Yeah, Well, looking out there, you always think on the market that you could do a little bit better. But whenever you got that restricted, I think he had a second-round tender. Yeah, so that no one usually ever – I've been part of that process, and I got the high tender. I didn't get offered by anybody. It just doesn't happen. So, So we shall see if, everything else is copacetic, and we'll be happy with everything, especially with Matt Cruz bringing us some nice cruisy gear and hat and everything else. So appreciate it, Matt.
Absolutely. Really cool medals.
Oh, yeah. Give my medal,
these
man.
coins here that he brought us.
I'm trying to collect. Kirby, leave one for Lucas. Good. Yeah. Panzikas.
Matt Cruz was on with us, who's the founder of the Music City Grand Prix. That's why we're out here today, and we're covering this charity golf tournament and just watching everybody have a great time. And they got a silent auction, which Blaine is the ultimate silent auction bidder.
Oh, yeah.
I
just quietly just put on my bid, and I like waiting for the phone call.
Oh, the hitman is the bid man when it comes to silent auctions.
Yeah, I got watch this. I got a storage unit, a room to put all this stuff in. I got MJ, the Tiger.
You got a room in your wife's I got you a storage
People have no
unit.
idea. I have a big deal with Peyton Manning on there and his championship. Picture of him in UT, Colts, and Denver Broncos. Picture with his rings.
I thought you were going to say it was like a picture of you sacking him.
No, not
running
me.
after him. You got a pick off of him or something.
Well, he's the Hall of Famer. I'm just the Hall of Shamer. So no, I don't think that was done like that. I can go back and watch the video, but I don't do that too often. So Nah, I just do recall. So that's it. But yeah, so all the special guys that I've gotten to watch play live is pretty cool now to see where they're at. I still don't have anything with Barkley, so I text him. Maybe I just have him send me something.
I'll say you and Barkley are on like texting basis with each other. You ought to be able to get something from Chuck.
Oh, I love texting him while he's on the air and say, "Hey man, your suit, your pocket
square
is messed up, bro." He'll text back actually during the break too, man. He is quick on responding. I'm like, man, I don't know if I'll be waiting till after I'm off the show. Lucas, would you be responding if I text you while you was on air and streaming live TV?
Test it out. Text
Yeah.
him during the next soccer game he's doing.
Oh, I should. That'd be the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you text during the breaks?
Yeah, because we only get the one. I mean, we're on the air for 45-plus minutes, and then we get like a little break at halftime, and then I'll check and see what's going on. We also get a bunch of stats too. Nashville SC's communications team sending us stuff that we can use. Gotcha. So yeah, I'll be around.
And so Matt was on with us, guys, and he said, I love Nashville. He's a Middle Tennessee grad. As Blaine had a little birdie tell him, asking him about his athletic career.
My man Buford there with State Farm Bureau, yeah.
So the barbecue
his
man.
Teammate.
So his teammate said, ask him about his athletic career. So he kicked at Middle Tennessee, and he was, bragging on his university and bragging on his town. And said it only took 7 years to get this thing set up from conception to 7 years.
How many mayors did he say?
4.
That's crazy.
It wasn't at 4, but he said, for a while there's like 3 and 6 months or something. It seemed like. But,
I was joking, but yeah.
But here's a guy who had an idea, and IndyCar, which you associate the South and Nashville more with NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're talking to Lucas about, you doing the soccer games. Nashville, we can't say this enough. Like everything works here. It's just insane. And it's different clientele sometimes for different sporting events.
I think we're getting spoiled, though. I think we should have everything.
We do think we should have.
Oh, my.
We got to get baseball. We got to get the Nashville Stars going.
Yep.
Everything's got to get here. Now, they got to figure out something with transportation.
Then a lot of people are going to be really upset with the traffic because, transportation.
Already upset.
You got any recommendations so you can run for whatever you want to run for here?
A train right down the middle of the interstate.
Oh, my, in the middle of the interstate.
Yeah. Train right down the middle.
I think we'll have to build up.
You build it up like the monorail at Disney World. Who would want to ride a monorail to work every day?
Man,
I would. Like going to Disney World. You just be going to work.
Man, I thought that was so crazy when I played for the Eagles. We got on a monorail to play the Giants.
Yes.
I thought that was so cool. And that thing was super smooth. And we were sitting there eating dinner at like a dinner table. I thought, wow, I've been missing out. I've been missing out, man. I thought this was great. And then we got on it to come back. I mean, and it was plenty of space all over the place. And it was only on there for like an hour. I mean, that thing is flying too. Whoa. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, we got to figure that out.
Yeah, we got to get that.
They got to figure it out.
They got to get that, man.
What's one thing we won't get? Like, what is one thing that we'd say, no, we can't. We're at Nashville, can't get that.
Well, it depends on what we don't have as far as, like, if we don't have we're not going to get a Major League Baseball All-Star game if we don't have a Major League team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not going to get the NBA because the Grizz are so close.
The only thing that we've been told we can't have is a World Cup, be a World Cup host city, but a lot of that had to do with the logistics of the new stadium.
That's a load of poop.
Yeah.
But eventually that will come back around to pass, too.
They got to make it grass, though, right? They're going to have to drag some of those discs of grass in there and hope it works out better than the Super Bowl.
But that's the only thing I could think of that we have gunned for and we have been told no, right?
We don't like – we're like spoiled kids in Nashville. You don't tell us no.
That's what I said, we're
you don't say no to me.
Yeah, that's what's going on here now. And we know once the stadium is finished, we're getting the Super Bowl.
Right.
We're getting the SEC championship. We're getting the national championship.
Football
it's
and basketball.
Yeah,
Football
it's happening.
Basketball.
It's going to happen. It's a no-brainer.
Well,
if we don't get it, we're pissed.
We got to get the ding dong of the week, of course, next. But you talk about ding dong. You hold the championship outside the South, and suddenly you get no tailgating at the national championship game. Remember that?
Oh, that is
no tailgating at the national championship game.
That's poop. That's not cool.
When we have the Super Bowl and the national championship in downtown Nashville, they're going to be tailgating up and down Broadway.
Tailgate wherever you want.
Broadway is going to be one giant tailgate.
They're going to shut that thing down. It's over.
When the draft came here, I heard one of the NFL executives talking, and he said, we realized once we did the site visit, Broadway is a natural amphitheater because the way the street goes up the hill.
Yeah.
So no matter where you stand, you can just look down the street and see everything. Even the city sets up perfectly to party like this Music City GP party, everything just sets up perfectly for everything. And I know I don't live in Davidson County, and I know the everyday traffic and the taxes and people, but just as far as being a sports fan or being an event fan or being in the It City fan, this city is just like a rocket ship.
And people who are just not moving here just think, we didn't used to have any of this stuff.
Oh, Acme Feed and Seed used to sell feed and seed, if that tells you anybody how it used to be.
Oh, because
some farmers down there,
Predators and the Titans and the growth of the city.
Yep.
And the state just started happening.
Hey, you get the NFL in your city, and you are as legit as can be. The NFL legitimizes you. And then the way the Preds have come along and that franchise and how well they're run, and they help the All-Star game, the draft, their run in 2017, and just saying, let's take the party all the way down Broadway and just walking in and out of the stadium for game days. I remember hearing a NASCAR official say, when we saw how things went in Nashville during the Preds Cup run and the Titans jersey reveal where the whole downtown was full, there was a lot of people there. And then when the draft came here, and it's done 3 times what any other draft has done, every major sport is like standing outside Butch Spiriden's door saying, can you find us a place down here?
Yeah, except now he's retired.
I know. You're going to have to take his place. NASCAR. I mean, except for 1 to 3. You'll have to come here.
I wish. Yeah, he had his retirement party there.
NASCAR had their awards, like their end
had their awards banquet here.
Yeah, that was the first event I ever worked for the Zone in 2019, just part-time promotions. But they had the thing on Broadway.
They did donuts on Broadway. Yeah. Burnouts on Broadway. And Nashville's the kind of city who's like, yeah, that's fine. Bring those rocket ship cars down here and just burn the tires out on our main city.
That wasn't a Panda sighting there, was it?
No. He was doing that a couple of blocks away. He was not part of NASCAR.
We had to say that but go to break on
well,
that.
Maybe he needs to go to NASCAR because I understand he needs a job.
But I do have a ding-dong, one for myself, too.
Yeah, well, we'll get to Ding Dong of the Week next. If you've got a Ding Dong, line up on the phone, 615-737-1045, and jump in on the Ding Dongery next on Blaine and Mickey. The Zone. It's Monday. Got a whole weekend full of ding-dong candidates for Ding Dong of the Week. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing, or as we like to say, don't be a ding-dong. Use Mark Spain. Blaine, you were excitedly telling us about your ding-dong before the break. You want to go ahead and bust it out here?
Oh, no, I have two ding-dongs, but I have one for myself. I said that.
Whoa.
I have one for myself. Yeah,
okay.
The Denver Nuggets did not sweep the Miami Heat.
Oh,
my. And I don't even know why I would go against Jimmy Buckets and the mentally tough Miami Heat. They may not win it all or anything like that. I mean, maybe they will. But, man, going against Jimmy Buckets and his crew, man, that was a heck of a performance there in Denver, who I think hadn't lost in Denver in the home games during the playoffs.
That's right.
I think that is correct.
Cool. Yeah, so, that was my ding-dong to myself. But I'll let you guys carry on. But my other one is a real long trickery ding-dong. I think we've all been duped.
Oh.
Bamboozled?
Yeah. Bamboozled.
Does this involve Lucas or Bert?
No, it involves Peyton Manning.
What?
No, it does.
Oh, you just made some Vol fans drive off the road.
You're going to be listening to the end of the ding-dongs are listed.
Oh, you're saving it.
Yes, I'm going to let Lucas and all our listeners go first.
All right, well,
and you, of course.
Let's roll through the ding-dong of the week. Phone
Kirby
calls
too.
again, 615-737-1045 on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline. Eric in Nashville, usually the first guy to lead us off, and he will do it again today. Thank you, Eric, for the phone call.
Well, Blaine, you kind of took mine because that's what I was going to say, because Jay Williams and Charles Barkley predicted the Denver Nuggets were going to sweep Miami Heat. Yeah. And the thing was that I just thought it was so disrespectful for people to say that. I mean, I still think Denver's the better team, and they're going to win in 6 games. Would it shock me if Miami wins? No, it would not. Right. But I just thought that was so disrespectful for people to predict that you were going to get
it's only been
out.
done like 3 times, I think, in history. So the odds were in their favor.
Yeah. And one of the teams that happened with this week was my Philadelphia 76ers doing that to Lakers when the Moses Malone Dr. J team, which I was glad about that, which I got his first ring. Yeah, guys, but here's my other thing, though. It's actually non-sports related. And if anybody has more details on this story, I would love to hear about it. But I saw it on a crawler. It's one of the strange things, because every time you see weird stories, you hear something else that's weirder. And trying to find this story, but I couldn't. But apparently the headline was that a fast food worker was arrested for apparently putting cocaine in a woman's hot dog. I'm not making that up. I saw the story.
Talk about a ding dong.
But I'm not. I heard everything more about it. But if anybody can find out the details of the story, I sure would appreciate it. But I did see that in the crawler. So that guy that did that and got arrested, deservedly so, he definitely is a ding dong. Y'all the guys take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate that.
Oh,
man.
That's
just top the cake right here.
Is this all beef?
Yeah. Woman bought a hot dog, and the guy that prepared it had just purchased it. They got it on video, and he set his stash down, his purchase, and then somehow inadvertently put it in her bag. And then he started searching for it. Well, it was already gone, and she found it, the packet of cocaine. She called the police, and then they watched the video and arrested him. I did read that over the weekend.
They found a bag of cocaine in the food.
Talk about a Happy Meal.
She got a mustard, a ketchup, 2 napkins, and an 8-ball.
This is absolutely absurd. No way.
And then they found on video surveillance that he purchased it in a hand-to-hand transaction with the female employee of the same restaurant in the parking lot of the restaurant.
How much was in there? Like, was it just remnants that was kicked? Like, because it
the entire little plastic bag was in her. It wasn't like it was put on the hot dog.
Oh, I was wondering. He
just included his little buy, whatever it was, his little baggie. It got into the bag of food.
I was hoping she had ground up the hot dog and snorted it.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
I want to see her cutting up the hot dog with a credit card.
Whipping out the 50 and rolling it up.
That's what
I think that might have made national news if that would happen there, man.
Wow, that's going to be hard to top.
Yeah.
Eric and Kirby Ding Dong, Ding Dong of the week there. We got Philly Mike on. Philly Mike, what's going on, man? You got a ding dong for us?
All right. What's going on, man? Glad to be back in the States. I was over in Paris last week. Sent Blaine some pictures, man.
Yeah,
that was
awesome,
over there, man.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. I could dream to be you.
A lot of fun, man. Hey, man, we took this bullet train 150 miles an hour, man. I'll tell you, if Aunt Esther stuck her head out the window, man, that wig, her dentures, everything will be gone, man. Unbelievable.
Oh, man. Any recommendations off the top, like what people should make sure that they do while they go over to London?
Yeah, I would say over to Paris. I would say the river tour, which takes you through the entire city. It's like an hour and a half, which is fantastic.
Cool.
Going down to Reims, which is the Champagne region of the country, where you can tour and sip champagne all day. That's a lot of fun. Of course, the Louvre, which is the largest museum in the world. That's fantastic. And the restaurants are cool and just a lot of fun, man. So if you get a chance, check it out. Couple ding-dongs real quick. An umpire got knocked out the other night in baseball. I think the catcher inadvertently missed the ball.
Yep.
It ended the game, and I hope he's all right. But that catcher looked like he wasn't even trying to catch the ball there. So that was one ding-dong on him. His team lost the game. And Saturday night for Lucas Panzica, I was listening to the soccer game, man, and the color man sounded like he was trying out to be the Barry White of the radio airwaves, man. Lucas, who was that cool dude, man, who was doing the color on Saturday?
That is Jalil Anibaba. He's our analyst. Played MLS for 12 years, including a couple years with Nashville. But yes, he's now Nashville SC's ambassador and our analyst on the broadcast.
He did a great job, man.
He does do a great job.
He's like Barry White, man. Yep. All right, that's all. Take care, man.
Appreciate it, Mike.
Philly Mike. Paris travel tips. Umpire hitting the 96-mile-per-hour fastball.
And don't forget about
Catcher
the food.
never got his
hot
glove
dog.
up.
Don't forget about the hot dog.
The cocaine hot dog. Yeah, Kirby is a sound engineer talking to us with no microphone.
That is the third time.
And then he just kills us with it.
God.
Kirby, you're a sound engineer.
Oh, man.
Well, it's hard to see out here.
I'm gonna have to
That
miss-
is the
I'm gonna
third
have to miss
time
work tomorrow.
in recent weeks where an umpire has. The other two were on
You're
purpose.
still too loud, man. We're going to need workman's comp
Watch
here.
this. Move your mic.
Yeah.
Move your mic.
The other two were on purpose, where the
I'm talking to you.
one of them was a fast pitch girls little league game where the umpire had called a strike, and so the coach goes out and visits the mound, and they should have suspended and dumped that entire team from that whatever league they were in. But the coach, a male, goes out to the mound, talks to the pitcher, and then the female catcher, before the ball is 3 feet from the plate, she just bails to her right and nails the umpire right in the throat.
Yeah.
Then there was a major league where a guy let one go, and then a minor league. This has got to stop. Those guys have got to be thrown out of the damn league for the rest of the year. That's got to be the manager's got to go, the pitcher's got to go, and the catcher's got to go. You kill somebody with a damn 100-mile-an-hour fastball. That stuff's got to stop.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, the umpire that got hit that Philly Mack was talking
Right
about,
there.
96 miles per hour right between the eyes, and it straight out.
He-
And when the ball went flying off, run scored, and that's how the team lost the game.
Well, on the first one, which was the majors, where the batter kind of moved, catcher didn't make any effort, caught the umpire. He hits the ground out cold. The batter just looks down at him and goes back into his stance. And it was like, the batter doesn't care, but the catcher is like, didn't even turn around to see if the guy was okay. Now, I get sportsmanship, and I know that passions are high. I'm a former athlete. There's no place for that kind of stuff. You don't purposely try to take out an ump because he missed a call.
Right.
I know I'm old, but that's got to stop.
Yeah.
Go on with
No
your
doubt.
ding dong.
No, I
Definitely,
agree.
you are old. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Lucas Panzica, your ding dong of the week.
So I'm always interested. It always catches my eye when reporters, high-profile reporters that just cover the NFL, make a little foray into college football.
Oh, boy.
And I'm not sure why Mike Florio felt prompted to write this article, but on my timeline, I'm scrolling, and I see Pro Football Talk on Twitter linking an article with the Twitter caption, Nick Saban would like NIL if it made it easier for him to recruit. It doesn't, so he hates it, and he keeps fighting against it to the point of even suggesting letting players become employees and unionizing. So I opened the article, and Florio says, when Alabama head coach Nick Saban first complained about this new NIL reality, some thought he was simply firing a warning shot at college football before exploiting the latest device for getting the best possible players and beating everybody. He goes on to say he absolutely wasn't. He was scared about what NIL would do to his program, his goals, and his legacy, and he is still scared. The quote that he cites from Saban is Saban saying, if it's going to be the same for everyone, I think that's better than what we have now, because what we have now is some states and some schools in some states that are investing a lot more money in terms of managing their roster than others. He says if Saban coached for one of the schools in the states he's referring to, he would not be complaining. That's for sure. Pre-NIL, Saban had cracked the code on recruiting. Now he's having to work even harder to get the locked door of the Kittner Boy Redoubt to swing open. I don't know what Kittner Boy Redoubt means, but Mike Florio alleging that Nick Saban is scared about what NIL will do to him, and that's why he's talking about uniformity in NIL and saying that Saban is afraid that it won't allow him to recruit the way that he has in the past, is without a doubt my ding-dong of the week. Because would you guys like to guess where Alabama finished in the team recruiting rankings on 24/7 Sports? First in this cycle that just ended a few months ago. First with one of the greatest recruiting classes in college football history. Alabama finished second, right behind the greatest recruiting class on paper in history in Texas A&M, which hasn't worked out that great for Texas A&M. So Nick Saban is not afraid of being able to recruit to Alabama. Alabama's going to be able to use NIL. He's also not the only head coach asking for uniformity in NIL. Plenty of head coaches that will benefit a ton from NIL, like Hugh Freeze in Auburn, for example, have talked about uniformity. It is a very common thing that coaches are asking for. So Mike Florio, if you're going to venture into college football, that's fine, but know what you're talking about. And saying that Nick Saban is afraid he's not going to be able to recruit to Alabama is my ding-dong of the week.
Well, the other ding-dongery about that is that Florio doesn't understand. If you're Nick Saban, you're the most powerful person in Alabama. I mean, you are. College football coaches in all these non-NFL states, and even some of the NFL states, there's the most powerful guy. He's talking to his fan base. He's talking to his legislators. He's just using that microphone to say, here's what old Uncle Nick would like. Here's what Uncle Nick would like from you. I need more of your money, business owner. I need more of your push, legislator. He's just using the microphone as the most powerful person in Alabama to get what he wants. That's why Florio.
Or college football, to be honest.
Yes.
Florio, man. Read the room, brother.
Not only can Alabama use NIL, they can also use the fact that they pump more players into the NFL than anybody else.
Yes.
Saban's going to be fine, and I love when he brings up that Saban wants to eliminate the advantage schools in bigger and richer cities with bigger and richer alumni bases will have when it comes to NIL.
Oh, yeah, Alabama got no money.
That's right.
Yeah, the poor alums from Alabama.
That's
Come on,
right.
man.
Doesn't matter what city they're in, man. Come on. Just because the school is in New York City, they have more of an NIL advantage over Alabama. Come on.
That makes my head hurt. CJ is raising his hands. Do you have a ding-dong, and do you want to enter this foray? Do we have an extra? Oh, you're going to take Kirby's. Just know that it will be loud then.
Hello, friends. So yesterday, the Atlanta Braves, Eddie Rosario hits a walk-off grand slam to help win the series against the Arizona Diamondbacks 8-5. But that's not what people are talking about. What people are talking about is a 416-foot single by their DH Marcell Ozuna, which earned him a spot on the bench. The lack of effort was one of the big reasons why. And in addition to a lot of the issues that he has had in the last couple of years, Marcell Ozuna is really playing his way out of Atlanta. So my ding-dong of the week is Marcell Ozuna and his lack of effort. Effort is free, friends.
Oh, wow. Man.
All that ability.
He wasn't injured?
Just his pride.
Oh,
you got a second one? I have one that involves bank robbery this week.
Oh.
A bank robbery ding-dong of the week.
Oh, mine is not bank robbery.
Okay.
It involves two prominent players that we all know that both of them are no longer playing. As I mentioned, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, who's just retired. And that's how Peyton Manning's connected to this, because the Titans were part of this whole situation that I think I was ding-donged and I think everybody else was. We all talked about Brady. Oh, he's going to come back and play for the Vegas Raiders, right?
Yes.
Right, because he's an owner now. He can't do that, right? Not so fast, my friend. Let's say Brady owns 1% stake in the Raiders, and the Raiders are currently valued at $5 billion. Let's just say this is a scenario. Well, Brady is approved to play. His cap number with the team would be $50 million plus whatever salary and prorated signing bonus he were to receive. He would then be eligible to play for the Vegas Raiders. And then they went back to the situation of Peyton Manning was offered some form of rumors of ownership with the Tennessee Titans, I think in 2012, and how people were saying that stake would be valued currently as the same evaluation the same way in the salary cap and how he would be impacted, but they could actually play. I was duped and thought you could not be an owner and still play in the NFL as a player. I thought that was an actual rule. Didn't you guys?
I wanted to see Bob Kraft try to play in the NFL, though.
So players can actually play on the team and be an owner, but it's going to go against the cap of a huge astronomical number.
Because people think you can't do it because it's like a way to circumvent the salary cap, right? But if that's not the case.
Right. They give him all cash up front. He can pay. And basically just said, well, whatever your ownership is, we just won't pay you. You just play for us.
Yeah. He said he was done again, Brady.
He did say it. I saw it again.
I will believe he's done when the season ends and he has not played one snap. I will believe that he's
this
done
coming
that.
season.
This coming season.
That's the only way.
That's the only way I'm going to believe it.
And the season has to end, right? Not midway.
No. The season has to end.
The Super Bowl hits zeros on the clock.
Oh, because Garoppolo could still get injured once he gets healthy.
Yes.
Yeah, and he knows the offense. And him and Josh McDaniels are buds. Yeah. So
and he'll be there in the box. It'll be like, hey, man, we got a jersey in your locker. Put down that ham sandwich. Well, he wouldn't eat a ham sandwich.
No, never.
Keto.
There's bread in that.
Vegan-free, food-free.
All
right, here you go.
Keto bread.
No, thanks. It's a hard no from your boy. So this is the thing that happened.
What?
I saw this headline. Chiefs superfan added to most wanted list while still on the run after alleged bank robbery.
Oh, yes.
The Chiefs have this guy called Chiefs-aholic. He wears a wolf costume to the games. He's now on the most wanted fugitive list.
You got to be kidding me, man.
In Missouri, I guess. He is allegedly held up a bank, and he has a failure to appear in court for warranty for bank robbery. Was scheduled for a hearing on March 27th, just over 3 months after he was arrested on December 16th.
Did he have on his costume?
Maybe that's how they caught him, for alleged armed robbery at the Tulsa Teachers Credit Union in Bixby, Oklahoma. So he got bailed out of jail, and then he just took off. So he just left. So he jumped bail on a bank robbery charge. And this is a dude who apparently is at all the Chiefs games in a wolf outfit.
I'm pretty sure this man has gone to Chiefs games after robbing a bank.
Do we know what he does for a living?
Robs banks?
No.
No. Thievery.
No.
And he's on, like, national TV every time he goes to these games. It's front and center in front of the camera.
It ends, it says, shortly after this hearing, Tulsa Judge Michelle Keeley issued an arrest warrant for his name is Babadar is his last name. He sounds like a genie. Babadar, cling, that carried a bond of $1 million in addition to the missed hearing. Babadar's disappearance raised red flags after law enforcement reportedly recovered his detached court-mandated GPS ankle monitor.
It sounds like who the Power Rangers have to defeat after they take down Varthon.
Babadar, Varthon. So as of Friday, this was over the weekend, there have been no updates on Babadar's whereabouts. I would say somewhere in Oz is where Babadar is.
I don't know, man. That might have. I don't know which is worse, that one or the hot dog.
The cocaine hot dog is pretty good. I wanted the hot dog to be laced with cocaine.
I really did too.
That would have made it better.
100% if a lady got a cocaine laced hot dog.
Who would have
Kirby's
thought that
talking
would be
again
part
with
of the topic today?
Good times. All right, from cocaine.
Never know with Ding Dong.
Lace, no better place for cocaine lace hot dog than Ding Dong of the week. DeAndre Hopkins, I don't know if he's a ding dong, but there's an interesting note from Albert Breer about him and money and something we've all been thinking about his money, and I'll tell all of you ding dongs what that is next. Blaine and Mickey, we're not blinded by any light here. What a fun day it's been. Old Hickory Country Club. Beautiful facility. Gosh.
Nice.
Everything looks nice.
They renovated this thing.
Oh, did. It looks way different than the last time we were here.
Just like Kirby's house.
100%. It was modeled after Kirby's deck and backyard.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Because he did it himself.
The porch behind
the
his
pillars.
house.
Yeah.
The
He
giant
carried
ceiling
them
fan.
himself.
Yeah.
He got them ordered over from
CJ resting
from Paris.
comfortably. It's everything about it was designed by Kirby and Kirby and Jack Nicklaus, the two noted golf course designers. Fantastic work by Kirby here. Fantastic work by Big Machine Music City Grand Prix. They had us out today, this golf tournament, raising money for creative vets, and they want you to know they got a big fun festival of racing and music and everything coming up. The concert lineup is amazing. It's different all 3 days, and there's more than one race. There's all different kinds of races that go on, not just the IndyCar races. And Lucas was pointing this out earlier. Joseph Newgarden comes in red hot. He won the Blaine Bishop Memorial, which the rest of the country
Indy 500
calls the
Memorial.
Indy 500, yes. He's still
Memorial,
alive, but they remember when he lived
That's
there.
what they're going to do when I am
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't it the Harley J. Earl Trophy?
Yeah.
It'll be the Elwood Blaine Bishop Trophy.
I
The
did,
EBB.
I did get to do what's the pace car. I was the debutante ball a king winner, and so I got to go in with the queen, and we got to drive in the pace car.
Oh, that's
before
awesome.
it started when I was, I think, maybe 8th grade.
That is so cool.
So
And
you
we
guys
had,
think I have stories.
we had a white suits. Everybody had to wear white, but with red ties.
You look like Colonel
And-
Sanders.
And
with
trust
the
me,
whites.
I had my nice little, really curly afro. It is something to behold.
Please tweet this
Oh,
out.
I got to get it at home. I
Please
gotta
tweet
get
this
it.
out.
I will. I will find it. Yeah. I thought I was Joe Cool, man.
We need to put that on at Blaine and Mickey. You can follow us there on Twitter and Insta. Trust me, we get our hands
I forget
on
the
that
girl's
picture.
name.
It'll be
I was
in both places.
Kimberly something. Yeah, I can't remember the
What's
girl's
she
name.
doing now?
I'd have
Wonder
no
what
idea.
She's doing
Yeah, that
now.
was 8th grade, bro. No idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just found out, say, another girl who was involved in that, she got second. It's funny. I found out she's an executive producer for ESPN. Yeah.
Boy, she didn't finish second in anything else.
Yeah.
I'm going to show
It's
y'all.
like, whoa,
I got your second place.
pretty cool. See what social media can do? I said, oh, dang.
Thanks, Facebook.
Yeah. No. I reached out to her.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All right.
absolutely I did. I was like, hey, what's going on? She's like, oh, I didn't even know you would remember me.
Hey, tell her watch her back because they've been laying a bunch of people off.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And she said, oh, no, they just hired me.
Boy, last hired. You know what they say.
That was part of the conversation. But it was cool catching up, though, man, to see her story.
Albert Breer does this Monday morning quarterback thing that Peter King used to do, and he was talking about DeAndre Hopkins in there. And we've all been saying, gosh, he's probably going to want the OBJ contract, the 15 and then incentives. This is what he said. I'd be pretty stunned if that sort of deal is out there for Hopkins.
Who's in this?
Albert Breer saying this about so maybe it doesn't take $15 million. There's been all kinds of rumors way less than that he's been offered way less than that. He mentions what the Chiefs and Bills, who are both up against it cap-wise, he said at this point I'd say both of those teams would sign him only at a discount. Talking about the Chiefs and Bills.
I know, but what does discount mean? Like, when I'm asking that, is it discount from what he was making, or is it based off of $10 million or less? I mean, what is the actual discount?
Well, I think it's
or the
less
discount,
than
does it mean like $3 million?
I think he's thinking like discount because they don't have any money. And it would be like, look, $3 million plus incentives.
Well, they can still cut somebody, or they can redo, which they're saying they're going to do, Mahomes' contract. Things that make it go,
Well, he's got to get his contract redid anyway so he can be number one and pay again. He's reached the point where he should just always make more than everybody. He's that dude.
Nope.
Although
Watch
Burrow's
this.
about
He
to
should be
that dude.
just like Tom Brady and never take the most. Ooh. He should be a great teammate and take 10th.
Just make me number 10 and then give some money to Hopkins.
So I can make sure that we keep on winning, because then that's part of my real legacy. Think long-term. Don't think short-term. He said, no, well, long-term and I don't win. What is my legacy? I just got a couple championships. Are they a dynasty? What is your objective if you're my homies? I want to be a dynasty. I want to say I was great every year I started the quarterback position.
Would you guys call? That's a good question. Maybe we need to ask that tomorrow. What does it take to be a dynasty?
Are the Chiefs a dynasty?
Are the
is what
Chiefs
you're
a
asking?
dynasty?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Have we made another end of the show tease for tomorrow?
Oh, man.
I mean, we got lots of Titan stuff tomorrow, but we could definitely get to this later.
Mini camp tomorrow?
Well, Lucas knows all their stats. So how many times they've been in it? 3 times and won 2? No, what is their record?
Yeah, they've been in three
Yes.
times and won 2.
Yes, lost to the Bucks.
Because the Bucks, Blake kept saying, Bucks are going to get after Mahomes, man.
Yeah,
with 4
pass
people.
rush.
And
They did.
my Lanta, did they?
They did.
They caught the pass rush guys at the wrong time. They are all still in their prime. And this can get that's tough sledding there. So yeah, we'll see. In football, I think that's somewhat of a dynasty. It's hard to a dynasty in 10 years. I mean, just
In the salary cap era, I don't even think it can't be 10
happen.
years
Like
anymore.
the Cowboys are a dynasty. They won 3 and 4 years. So the football's different.
Oh, that's
Right.
Kirby's
Okay.
team, Blaine.
Okay,
Open
win this
that
team
can
in the
of worms.
90s. So, okay, so we still got a little ways to go to see where they're at then. Yeah.
Well, we got no more ways to go here because it's time for us to go. Our ways and means are done for the day. So
You're
it's
going to
time.
use ways to get home.
Yes, we will.
Oh, my.
Dodge that Nashville traffic. But don't worry, kids. There's more sporting events coming.
But
Including-
into the meantime,
In between time.
peace.